The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Hi, this is Brad Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from the great state of New York. He's trained by Isis Ethics and Zachary Springate III. He's worked for such promotions as Showcase Pro Wrestling Academy Connecticut, Grand Slam Wrestling, Proving Ground, New York Championship Wrestling, and I could go on. He's a former New York Championship Wrestling Empire State Heritage Champion, and he shared the ring with the likes of Tommy One Shot, Scotty Arrow, MLB all-time hits leader Pete Rose, HVO, Black Rose, and I could go on. So let's welcome today's guest, someone who my wife would definitely leave me for. I give you Dante Dio. Would you like me to call you Dante or just Mr. Dio? I'm fine with either.
I'm fine with either.
Okay. So that was a little dated, but, I was working with what I had. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm very excited and glad to finally talk to you.
Again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, my God. Anytime. Okay, let's get right into it. So where are you right now? I don't need a physical address because I may have some crazy listeners.
I am in Syracuse, New York. At my house right now, kind of in my living room.
Okay. Now, I'm a little geographically challenged. I know, obviously, where New York is. How far is where you are in relation to New York City?
About 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually have to leave New York to make it to New York City.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so how do you go?
The fastest way would be down 81 down to about Scranton, PA, and then head east, and then that takes me right to the city.
Are you down there often?
No, I've only actually been in New York City. I can probably count on one hand.
Really?
I'm not a fan of the city.
Oh my God, neither am I. I'm not from New York. I visited several times, but I'm not. It's just too big for me. Big and kind of dirty. A little bit.
Too many people.
Too many people. I grew up in Chicago. It was the perfect amount of people, a little too much, but fine enough. So did you grow up in upstate New York?
Yep. My
Is it
entire
referred
life.
to as upstate New York? I'm sorry.
It is.
So in the same place?
Yep. I've actually been living in the same town that I've grown up my entire life, where there are more cows than people.
Really? So it's like country.
Oh, yeah.
So have you milked a cow before?
Oh, yes, I have.
Really? What was like as a job, or just like, hey, I'm gonna milk a cow?
It was more of like my friend was working, and it was like, hey, I want to come up and hang out with you. She's like, yeah, sure. So I went up. I actually walked up the hill, and helped her at the farm for a bit, and I've done that multiple times and learn how to milk the cows and chickens, and yeah.
So you could have a very small dairy farm, like if you just had like one cow.
No,
You would, okay.
I didn't like it wasn't physically by hand. Like I know how to work the machine.
So
Yeah,
like you hook it up to the udders and everything. I was
that was
trying to
fun.
do. I work in a memory care community, and I was doing charades today, and I was trying to do milking a cow, and no one. I was just trying to do like this, and no one until I mooed finally to give them like a little. So, okay, sorry about that. When you were milking this cow, did you ever say, he looks like he tastes good"?
No,
No. Okay. So you grew up in Albany. Is that where your parents are from?
I'm. We were all from Syracuse, New
Oh,
York.
Syracuse. I don't know
Yeah,
why I said that. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
So, did your parents grow up in
Yep.
Syracuse as well? Oh, wow. Do you have a big family presence there?
Um. Yeah, kind of. Not really.
Okay.
Most of my family are from here, but I've hardly talked to a lot of them.
Really? Because of bad blood, or it's just like you guys just aren't
Um,
close?
like when like the glue of the family they passed away,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the family kind of just go. That kind of
Yeah.
glue to the family kind of fortunately passed away, and we all kind of went our separate way. The really only family members I really talk to are actually like they're not blood related. They're more like
Yeah.
my stepfather's family. I talk to them all the time, and
Oh, really?
they live in Syracuse too. So
So may I ask, is your dad in the picture? Was
yeah,
he in the picture growing up?
he was for about 8 years, and
Okay.
then he was still there.
Uh-huh.
It was visitation every other week.
Sure.
And once I started turning around the age of 18, he was really there a
And
lot.
and did you like were you good? Are you guys have a good relationship?
Right now, we have an amazing relationship.
Okay, but you have a really strong one with your stepdad as well.
Yep.
When did your mom remarry?
Oh God, now you asked me. A
Like how
couple
old
years
were
after
you?
2000, I think it was. I want to say 2005, 2006, maybe.
I think you have a burglar in your house. I just saw someone walk by behind you. Just let you
That
know.
that was that was my girlfriend.
Oh, okay,
She's
okay. We'll
taking
get
care
her
of the
on
baby
another
right
time.
now. Yeah.
She wants airtime. Gosh, she's desperate.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
totally. So how old? You said in the year around 2000. How old were you when she remarried?
Uh, I think it was around 2006, so I was
Oh,
about now you're making me do math.
yeah. No, I'm not good at math.
Eight.
Just throw any number. I
Maybe it's
believe
not.
it.
I think maybe around 14.
Oh, okay. So was that difficult for you, or is that like you were
No,
excited for your mom?
I was excited because she was
Mhm.
happy. And
Yeah, yeah. And the reason I keep asking you this is because I'm in a similar situation where my mom and my stepdad got together when I was like 8. I don't mean it to be gross like that, got together. They started seeing each other when I was 8, and he's the one who raised me, that type of thing. And I was really excited to finally have a man back in the house, because I never understood that a woman could protect a family, so that's why I was asking you about that. um and so you lived with your mom and your stepdad.
yep,
Did you have step siblings or like
yes, I have two
biological?
of them. I have two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I have a stepbrother, stepsister, and then I have more than I have like three stepbrothers, three stepsisters,
Wow.
and a couple years after my mom and dad went their
Yeah.
separate way, my dad ended up dating this one girl, and now I have a brother who's about 10 years younger than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like a little boy.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's 19.
Oh, okay, so you don't babysit this person anymore.
No,
Did
I
you ever?
no. We weren't when growing up. We weren't really close.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of blame that on his stepmom. I mean, not his
Sure.
stepmom, his mom. Um, but then like once he turned 18 and he's actually living with my dad right now, we have like came close and connected, and because like I'm making up for all the lost time.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You're a professional wrestler.
Yes.
You throw people around. I don't mean to say crudely, throw people around, but is there anyone of your step siblings, or just I'll call them siblings, that you can't take down to the ground in under 5 seconds? Like, is there any of them that could step up to you?
That would be my stepbrother Ryan.
Why is he bigger or something?
He's huge. He's big, and he was a 60-minute man in football when he went to in high school. In high school, he was 60-minute man, so he was on offense, defense, special team, everything. He played for when Rochester had an arena football team. He played in them with them.
Oh, wow.
So like, I can't. There's no way I could take him. I could try. I'll definitely try. I'm not stupid where I would try, but
we'll get him drunk.
I would get demolished easily.
Okay, but that's just one person you have to keep your eye on. The rest of them you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you then. When did pro wrestling enter the picture? Like, as like a fan?
I was about 7, 8 years old. Probably more closer to 8. So it was about 1999, 2000, maybe 1998.
Okay.
Around that area. Sneaking in the living room to watch wrestling all the time because I wasn't allowed to be up that late.
Yeah.
I've been a fan since about 9.
How did you just stumble upon it, like on TV?
I think it was stumbled, but I think also I think my mom and my dad showed me. I think it was a kind of a combination of both.
Were they fans?
Yeah, a little bit, not really.
Like they knew who Hulk Hogan was.
Yeah, they knew who all like the older wrestlers, Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, Jake the Snake Roberts. Like they knew all of them.
And did they not want you watching wrestling at all, or
they did until I did a frog splash onto my sister, and then that
no way.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I need to hear about this. What did you jump off of, and
the back of the couch?
Did she agree to this?
No.
Okay, this even better.
I
jumped
tell
the story.
I don't really remember it much. All I remember is she was getting me really mad, and she was laying on the ground, and I was on the couch, and I climbed up on top of the couch, and I did a frog splash on her.
Oh my god!
And I was banned from watching wrestling.
Okay, were there tears? Did she cry?
I think so.
Okay, so you're banned from watching wrestling. That's a pretty dramatic thing. How long did that last?
It was between the years between WrestleMania. It was when John Cena won the US title from the Big Show to when John Cena won the WWE Championship from JBL. It was between where I actually came back in wrestling. So it was a couple of years.
So what were your other interests like as a kid?
Video games.
Yeah. Which games?
Around that time probably was around Final Fantasy X, Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Extinction, which is like a hidden gem type game.
Okay.
And then like
did you ever play like any of the WWE games? Did you make yourself?
Oh, of course I did.
Okay, good. Because a lot of people look, no, I didn't make myself. That's the first thing I would do. That's
the first thing I did, and from like the first game all the way to the last one I played, I like the character always looked the same, and then when they ever took the design out of the game, I was like, great, I got to rechange them up. But
so, did you have a big circle of friends?
Not really. I've always had like a small little circle, like 5 friends.
Yeah. Because that's funny. I just said that to my son. I was like, you have to be so many different kinds of people to have a lot of friends. If you have a small group, just be yourself. Were they wrestling fans?
Not really. They'll listen to me talk about it, but they didn't like sit down and watch like I did.
How would have they described you as a kid?
Truthfully, violent.
Yeah. What was that?
Violent.
Really? Okay. So why? Tell me why.
I had kind of like anger issues growing up.
Okay.
And then I've always been working on it, and so like I just didn't know better when I was younger. So
Sure. Did like your parents send you to like therapists or anything?
no,
It's just
I
like as you got older, things
I
settled down.
I technically got kicked out of my school. Like, I mean, you look at like what I did back
Uh-huh.
then, and compared to what kids are doing now, mine was like a little slap on the wrist compared to like some of the kids are doing now. But they teachers got tired of me just misbehaving a little bit.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't like just one thing.
no, so
So what did they do? They say to you like, we don't want you coming back here tomorrow.
they sent me to a school to help me work on my
Oh,
Django, and so like I was still getting all my education, all that. It's just
yeah,
it,
yeah.
they were more equipped with dealing with kids and
Okay.
able to be like, all right, this is how. And then I was there like a year or two, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna work back at getting back to my home school, and
Yeah.
I had to work. God, I was there from about 4 years
Okay.
at school.
And did you like were you aware you were violent?
Yeah.
Okay. And did this manifest itself like at home, or it's just like that was just the way you were?
Yes.
Little of everything.
Yeah, a little of everything.
Okay. So how were you as a student though?
Um, Math, I was A's.
Mm-hmm.
I could read a manga. I could read like a comic book, manga book in class, and still get 100 on tests. Um, English, I was okay. I was like probably like a B, C plus student.
Oh, okay.
So
So there's nothing wrong with that.
no.
Those are pretty good. Did you when you were did you like to participate in any sports or anything? In your teenage years?
Yep. I did baseball. I did like 2 years of wrestling.
Oh,
I did football for one. I did a lot of cross country and track.
oh, cool. What did you run in track?
I did see, it was 4x16, I think it was. I'm doing it
Oh,
right.
wow.
And I did shot put and discus and long jump.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, like long distance to like doing shot put, that's a pretty big jump in track. So, did you have a plan for what you were going to do when you when you finished high school?
So going into about my junior senior year, I was like, I want to be a professional wrestler. Like, I was like, I'm going to do this. So I started like looking online for like schools and all that, try to find something local.
Were you aware of independent wrestling?
No, I
Okay.
actually was not. So this was about 2009, 2010. I wasn't
Okay.
aware of local independent.
Okay.
I did a lot of research. I found a school down in Florida, and I was like, that's it. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm like, I know how much it is. I don't know what I'm going to do for a job or where I'm going to live, but like, I'm going to drive down to Florida when I graduate. Like, as soon as I walk that stage, and I'm gone.
Did you tell anyone of your plan?
I've I told my family, I've told like anyone when people are like, "Oh, what are you gonna do when you grow up? Like, what do you
Uh-huh.
want to do?" and all that, and I would tell them, and I would tell them my plans, and they would chuckle and laugh at me.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I,
typical.
yeah, I want to be an astronaut too. Like
So, but that all changed one day. I went to a local game store around, and I saw two people wearing a wrestling shirt, and I was kind of antisocial growing up, and my friend was helping me kind of like, hey, be more open, talk more,
sure, sure.
and I complimented the people on their shorts and got talking. Turned out that the lady that I was talking to was actually a wrestler in the independent circle, was years ago,
Uh-huh.
and she told me about a local promotion. Unfortunately, their doors are closed now.
Mhm.
2CW,
Okay.
which in Central New York, it was a huge promotion. I mean, massive,
Uh-huh.
and they had a school connected to them. And I think within like a week or something like that, I was in the school training.
And how old were you? Like, were you 18 or over at that point?
I technically started when I was 17, It was like a
Okay.
month before I turned 18. So I technically started when I was 17, so I had to sign
Uh-huh.
my mom and me, we had to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
I wasn't 18 yet. But I
And you had
started
your full support of your mom? 'Cause
kind of.
okay,
Um,
like, she had other plans for
she
you?
she doesn't like to see me get hurt.
Uh-huh.
So when I'm like, "Hey, I wanna go to the school," she had to come in and check it out, and, at the time, I had a part-time job, so she was like, "Hey, I will help you pay for half of it. Couple condition, come visit me after you're done training," 'cause job was, like, right on the way home. She wanted
Okay.
me to come visit her, and she's like, "Don't get hurt." And I was like, "Okay, deal." So,
Uh-huh.
that lasted for, like, a year, year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then I got injured during training, and when I came visiting her after was at training and I was
Uh-huh.
limping to her, she was like, "Nope, I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And wasn't making enough to keep going. I was able to
Yeah.
last like a month after, and then I was
Was it
like,
costing you more money than
I wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
So, and then the injury was kind of
Yeah, yeah.
messing things up too. So I took a couple years off, and then one day I was just like, you know what? I'm sick of tired of saying I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. I'm like, if I keep saying it, it'll never happen. So I'm just gonna jump
Were
the
you
gun.
watching wrestling, like, in this time that you had taken off? Like, were you able
Yes.
to Okay.
I was still going to show, like I was going to watching as a fan here and there. And I was watching wrestling still like every day.
Yeah, yeah. So, did you, so you find your where you're gonna train. Had you ever been in a wrestling ring at that like, up to that point?
Before, no, I've never been. It was I've I was to WWE shows as kids, but like
Yeah,
one or two, but I've like never actually been like inside of one. So like the first time I got
yeah.
to step
Who
inside was like, wow.
who took you to see, shows, when you were growing up?
My mom.
Oh, that's really nice of her. Now, could was she enjoying it as well?
Yeah, she was
Like
enjoying it because she saw how happy it was making me.
oh, wow, what a great mom. Did you see her you see your mom often
Oh, almost every day.
still?
She lives like 7 houses away from me.
Oh my god, but you're lucky. That's great. I'd love to have my mom 7 houses away. No, seriously, I'd be a rich man. I'd never pay for food. Okay, so aren't your it's the night before you're gonna train the next day for the first time. Are you able to sleep? Are you nervous?
I was able to sleep, but I was very nervous. I was excited but nervous because I wasn't sure what to expect.
What made you think that you could, and I don't want this to come off in the wrong way. What made you think at the time that you could be a professional wrestler? Like, were you in good shape?
I was in a lot better shape than I was growing up.
Mhm.
It was cross country track. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
the stamina at the time. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a firefighter. I was just about to join my department. I was like, I can do this, and it's something I wanted to do. So I was like
Yeah.
determined that I'm gonna stick through this. That I'm gonna do this. And I'm yes, I don't know what to expect, but I'm like, I don't care what challenges I face.
Mhm.
I'm going to do this.
So when you show up for your first day, are there other students who are it's their first day as well?
When I brought one of my friends,
Mhm.
one of my family member that he wanted to do wrestling too. So we're like, all right,
Oh,
let's do this together. And
that's
so
nice.
he was with me, and um, but other than that, everyone else has been there for like years, and it was just
Is that
me
intimidating?
a little bit. A couple of the guys were definitely intimidated.
Yeah, yeah. Did so what was the hardest thing to pick up on? Like just in general as a wrestler when you're starting out?
Uh, everything, being definitely the hardest thing I remember learning was how ugh, knowing how to fall, the back sits and doing them safely.
Okay.
So learning how to fall and protect myself.
Now, how long before like you're starting to think, oh, I'm going to incorporate that move into my move set? Like, when do you start thinking about that? Does that come later?
When I first started training, before my injury, I didn't even think about a move set, a gimmick,
Hmm.
anything. I was just
Okay.
more focused on like I need to learn this. I need to get this down. I need to learn this. And so I was more focused on that. It wasn't until like after I debuted where I was
Hmm.
like, I really need a move set and I need a gimmick. And I'm like trying at all once, trying to figure out move sets, trying to figure out
Wow.
what I want to do for a gimmick. So literally, it was like learning as I'm going.
Yeah. What should come first? Like your gimmick and then your move set, or your move set and then your gimmick?
Um, I think knowing your gimmick will help with the move set.
Okay.
Uh, because I'm trying to figure out the best way to word it.
Hmm.
Because like I just think like some moves don't fit certain gimmicks. Like
That
if
makes
your
sense.
gimmick is one thing, and I'm trying to think of like a gimmick and like a move set that wouldn't, in my eyes, wouldn't fit. Um,
Is it hard? Like, also like, oh, this guy's using this move and that guy, like, is there a certain point where like there's some stuff that's gonna overlap that you're using like that amongst your peers?
yes, I've been on many shows lately and throughout my couple years of wrestling where like
Uh-huh.
I'm like, all right, I do these move sets, and then I'm talking to my opponent. He's like, oh, I do this, and I was like, I do that too.
Oh,
And it's always funny laughing about it, and like,
yeah, yeah.
and you definitely can pick each other brains on how to improve that move or coming up with different ways of doing it. But yeah, that it happens a lot actually where moves will intertwine.
Yeah.
You'll go to one promotion and you and this one guy do the same move, and usually like if I know that guy, like if I'm new, let's say I'm new to a promotion, like it's my
Uh-huh.
first day here, and this guy tell me, hey, I do this move. All right, well, that's your move. I'm not gonna do that because this is your promotion.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't want to take your stuff. So like I can do something else. You like
Yeah.
I don't want to step on any toes here.
Totally, totally. Now, do they is working on promos, is that part of the training? Like, do they have
Yes.
you like stand with a microphone and is that
Stand in the ring, stand with a remote control,
uh-huh.
whatever, or pretend you have a mic. But yeah, that is a part of
And do they say talk about this or talk about that?
um it's mostly just, hey, got a promo, you got a minute and a half, go.
Is that intimidating? Because it sounds like it is.
It can be. I've never been good at cutting promos, so talking and all that has always
Yeah.
been intimidating to me.
Uh-huh.
Um
You're doing fine here. Go on. You're doing
but
quite fine.
But yeah, no, that's always been very intimidating to me,
Yeah, I imagine.
especially when I did a camp one day and I was in a small room, um, and it was Danny Cage from the Monster Factory, Kevin Kelly, Bob Evans, and
Oh wow.
a local person from the radio station in Boston at the time. I can't remember her name, unfortunately. But like, I was in a room with them, and I was shaking. I was so nervous because
Oh wow.
I knew who three of them, like I knew who a lot of them are, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
I cutting cutting a promo in front of Kevin Kelly, who's the he does commentating for New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is intimidating,
Oh
right
my God.
there.
Yeah, I imagine.
And in front of Danny Cage too. That I
Yeah,
just remember that day. I was nervous, but like I did a really decent job, but then like I
uh-huh.
lost it like halfway through.
Did you get like good
I got too
feedback though?
like in it, like in my nose, and I just started.
All right, I have a dumb
I
question.
got a pretty good feedback. Like, I mean, but it was, it was, it could be passable, but like they're like, you can do this better.
Are
But
there veterans who just won't even give you any feedback in general?
uh-oh,
Can you
they're
hear me?
lagging out, unfortunately.
Can you hear me now?
Can you repeat yourself, please?
So I was going to ask a stupid question.
I can hear you now.
Okay,
That
so
was weird.
say you want to do, you think of
Yes,
this move or a finisher.
it was just.
Do you ask someone, hey, I want to try this out on you, and I hope I don't injure you?
Sorry about that.
No problem, no problem. That's what editing's for. So what I was asking was, like, do you, when you think of a move that you want to do in your head, and so do you go ask like one of your peers, I want to try this on you, you might get hurt? Like, how does that come together?
So that actually just happened recently with me. I was watching the Royal Rumble and I saw
Uh-huh.
something and I was like, "What was your end game there?" And then I started thinking, like, "Wait, what can I do if I did that? What can I do for an end game?" And I was sitting there thinking, and then I went to training and I asked my friends who I was training with. I was like, "Hey, can I try something with you real quickly?" And I would walk through what I wanted from them
Mm-hmm.
and kind of walk through the steps like, all right, gonna do this and then this and then this. So they knew what was coming. And then I asked like advice, like from one of my friend, uh Ronnie. I asked him, like, hey, what do you think I should do from here? This is where I want to end.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I could put in between to get to where my end goal is? And then the wheels started turning from him,
Wow.
and the move actually, like, I wanted one thing and it ended up way over here, completely different, but I love where it ended.
Is
And
that a fun process?
oh yes,
Oh, I bet.
like when the wheels start turning, it's exciting. Like I get
Yeah,
excited when
yeah.
the wheels start turning in my head, or when I asked my friend Ronnie about stuff, and I literally look at him and I could tell when the wheels start turning, and I'll start getting excited because it is interesting what he comes up with. So like I get excited and I would sit there like a little schoolgirl because I'm like, I can't wait to hear what comes out of his mouth.
So let me ask you this real quick. Can you still, because so you were talking about watching the Rumble and you thought, it got your mind going. Can you watch wrestling as just like a fan
Yeah,
anymore?
I still can.
Okay. You can
It
separate the,
Yeah, I can separate
this is
it,
my
but
job.
it is still nice, kind of like it does kind of ruin a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like definitely with how the Rumble was going to end. We were calling it like the beginning of the year after
Oh,
seeing.
yeah.
We're like, yeah, I could see where they're going with this, but
Uh-huh.
it is nice to kind of just like, all right, let me just take this part of my brain, throw it away for a second,
Yeah.
and let's just sit and watch.
Okay. It comes the time for your first match. Do you tell your trainer that you're ready, or do they come to you and say you're ready now?
So my trainer, Zachary Springate the third,
Mm-hmm.
uh, he he was just like, "Hey, you might have a match where they're doing a showcase for the school." He's like, "You
Mm-hmm.
might have a match. Get stuff." And the people I was training with, they're like, I'm like, "What should I get?" And they told me, so I literally just everything they told me to get, I just bought.
Okay.
They're like
Blindly, just.
boot, kick pads, gear. So like I had the boots with the kick pads over the boots.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which people always ask me when I used to wear the kick pads. They're like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, I got told to buy them. I use them.
Totally.
Um,
Is it
I
expensive? Okay.
it can get very expensive.
Okay.
Like tights are depending on where you go can be any like 150 to 200.
Oh, geez.
The boots I have right now cost me $150.
Oh my god.
So,
Well, at least I mean they're cheaper than Jordans, but
yeah, I
still.
read it in wrestling boots, anyways.
Yeah.
But like he's just like, you might have a match, and I didn't even know. Like, I came in not even expecting to have a match, and he's just like, you're on a team with Kevin, who was a student at the school, and he had more experience than me. So they're like, we're gonna put you in a tag match. It's easier for newbies to get into wrestling as tag matches. But he's just like, we're gonna try this. Like, what do you have as a name?
And did you have a name at that point?
No, I threw out a name and it got totally rejected fast. And looking back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking?
What did you say? Like Hulk Bogan?
No, I can't remember the last name I came up with, but the first name was, oh wait, no, I now remember. It was Fate Yagame.
How did you come up with that? What was that based on?
So Fate was a nickname I had growing up.
Okay.
For the longest time. So that was just kind of like, all right, let me do this.
Sure.
I got Yagame from a anime called Death Note. It was the main character's name.
Oh,
last name, really.
And it got rejected. Why? Because it doesn't roll off the tongue, or
He did not like it.
Okay. So and then you came up with your current name?
Yep.
How did that happen? Like,
so Dante comes from me growing up. I was like, I'm always gonna, like, when I have a kid, I'm gonna name my son Dante. And I said that when I was like 5-6 years old, which, by the way, that's a complete lie.
Okay.
I did not name my son Dante.
Okay.
It didn't feel right.
At what point did you realize that wasn't happening?
About maybe a month after.
Really?
Like,
okay.
She's like, where my girlfriend's like, hey, I'm pregnant, and
Yeah.
not talking about names. I'm like, Dante doesn't feel right now, so.
And she was against it as well.
It
didn't feel right for her. Oh, we have more questions. Now I have a bunch more. So even when you're in this tag match, are you able to like focus, or are you just like all nerves?
Butterflies for days.
Oh, really?
Oh, I was super nervous.
Even like once you came out, like.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I had nerves throughout the entire match.
How long does it take typically for someone to be, say, comfortable in the ring?
I technically, I'm comfortable now, but I still get butterflies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it depends on what's going on. Like if it's like a big match, field type match, I still get butterflies. Or if I'm excited to face this person, like I still get butterflies. I'm like, I hope everything goes right.
Yeah. Like, do you wake up on the morning of shows like nervous? Not with butterflies.
A little bit. It's mostly like right before I come out the curtain. When I'm sitting in the gorilla, the butterflies start to kick in, and then when I come out, they now they go away. They're like, as soon as I come out and I hear the crowd, it all goes away.
Did you have anyone at your first first match?
I had a bunch of my friends. I had a bunch of my family there.
Cool. And so, okay, so are you able to, like, do you look at them during like the match at all? Like, can you quickly make eye contact? Yeah. And is that frowned upon by like the promoter, like
making eye contact with fans,
like like interacting with like your family and friends? No. All right, I have a question for you then.
Okay.
Okay, so you have your first match. It's out of the way. How does someone decide, like, I want to work there, I want to work here, I want to wrestle here? How does that happen? How do you start like marketing yourself to get on shows?
So like, I wanted to wrestle as much as I can after my first show. Like, I'm like, I don't really care where. I want to get out there. I want to travel. I want to get my name out there. And it just came from me. It was like my couple of guys I trained with, they're like, hey, we got a show this weekend. You want to come? Yes. And so like anytime I always got asked, hey, I got a show here. You want to come? Yes. Like can't guarantee you anything, but do you want to go? I'm like, yeah. So it just kept doing that. And then I just, next thing you know, because I kept saying yes, I was like, all right, you're booked here and here. And like, so I was just traveling with my friend and it was just like wherever he was booked, I was.
So like you're going with a friend to a show that you weren't previously prior booked on. What happens? You go up to the promoter and say, hey, you know, I'm Dante and you know, blah, blah, blah. Do you guys have any spots open tonight? How does that conversation happen?
Always introduce, you know, I would introduce myself like forcing to the promoter, hey, I'm done. Would use my real name because
yeah, sure.
It's more polite.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, Dante, I'm a wrestler. I'm just like, I just started training, you know, anything I can do to help, would glad to help. Would help on ring crew. If they needed someone just to run, like when the wrestlers would come out with gimmicks, grab them, bring them back, like whatever I could do, whatever I can do to make myself of service.
Yeah,
I'd be glad to help. So I always just put it out there, like whatever I can do to help. I'm glad to be helpful, like whatever I can do. And if a spot is open up, I have my stuff in the car, and it's just some days I sat and watched the show. Other times I would get the gear, whatever was I could do to help.
Do you? And you don't have to tell me who the opponent was or anything like that. Do you have a match in your mind that was the best match you've ever had? In your opinion,
I've had a couple.
Okay.
Where it's kind of hard. Like they're like more of the matches that kind of stuck out in my mind. And I still remember to this day. I had a match against Mike Montero up in New England. And he was an opponent I've been wanting to face for the longest time. And as like right when I got the match, like my mental state wasn't in a good spot. But like you walk for the curtain that stays back there. And,
yeah.
And I like after the match, like literally while I'm still like I'm laying on the ground, he comes picking me up and he's like, I don't know what is going on with you personally, but we beeping killed it out there.
Yeah. Wow.
So that match sticks out a lot. One of my matches against the Madness of Trip.
Oh wow.
That match like sticks out to me a lot because oh god, we didn't call nothing.
Oh really?
We went out there and had fun, and it sticks out to me to this day. And another match too is I went against a guy of oh god, what was I can't remember his name. But like we went out there and I had a lot of fun. It just everything went so smoothly, and you know, of course there obviously hiccups, but the story we wanted to get out there, it was exactly what it needed to be, and it was fun.
How often does that happen where like you're like, all right, we told a great story here? Is it not every match? Like there's sometimes you don't
every match because of course nothing is perfect. Things happen here and there. But it can happen a lot.
Do you I'm sorry to throw this in, I just thought of it. Do you have a shoot job?
Yes.
Do they know that you're a pro wrestler?
Yes.
How long did you when you got hired, did they know you were a pro wrestler or did this something slowly get revealed?
I make sure I let them know because the weekends would be tough for me.
Oh,
so
sure.
I let them know like, hey, just so you know, this is what I do. Like, so weekends are a little tough for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I usually can tell you months in advance
Uh-huh.
on what weekends I can't do it. But
Did anyone in your office ever try and step up to you or wherever you work?
no,
No,
they
because they
jokingly
know.
line.
Um, did you have they ever come to your shows, like your coworkers?
No, I
You try and
try.
separate that.
No, I've actually tried to invite them. The people, definitely the people I work with now,
Uh-huh. They have
the
no
job I have now.
interest.
I try to invite them, and every time they're like, "Hey, hunting season just started," like they're going hunting.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's always
fishing
something.
tonight.
So I've seen who I thought was a prowler, but you identified as your girlfriend. I also is it possible I heard a baby as well?
Yes.
Okay. How old's the baby?
Tomorrow is 2 months. Yes.
2 months? That's oh my God.
Yep.
So you're still in the thick of it.
Yep.
Now, are you able to sleep through the night or are you required to
Um.
be up while your girlfriend's feeding this child?
So at first, I was able to kind of like sleep, and I would get up and
Mhm.
change the diapers, and
Mhm.
then because she would feed, I would change the diapers,
Mhm.
even Steven. And then after a while, I found out that I'm like, yeah, I can't sleep at night now.
Oh my God. I remember walking
I
home
just
like
couldn't
after
sleep at night, so that was the
I
thing.
remember I had my first kid and I was walking
Uh-oh.
home one Friday afternoon from the train. I called my
I
brother. I'm
think
like,
I
"What?"
lost him again.
I said, "Like, are weekends do the weekends suck now?" He's like, "Oh, they're
Gotta
horrible.
love the internet.
Like during the week is like when you get to go to work, that's the best part." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I learned that. So do you have any like rules as far as like you can't wrestle until the child's 5 months old or anything?
No, he actually was just at his first wrestling show this weekend.
Oh wow, your girlfriend's awesome. She brought him
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, we brought them together. They had like a little up top, like track,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
um, and we set up a little. I got her a chair. She sat up there with the baby with one of our friends that worked like the back
Uh,
and like behind the curtain in wrestling, and they sat up there away from everyone and watched. And
just are we frozen again?
no,
No, okay. um, is your girlfriend impressed that you're a pro wrestler?
yeah.
Is that any of the draw for the two of you getting together?
Um, what do you say? Was it? What was it a draw? No, no. I
Yeah,
want
I'd like to hear it from the.
was me being a pro wrestler a draw to you? Yes.
It was wow. See, that's like having a superpower. Um, oh God, I wish I had my wife respected me like that. Um, now, so your son, he didn't give you any constructive criticism, obviously, for his first
He
wrestling show.
he was up watching it, and then as soon as my match was over, he was like, "I'm going to bed."
Yeah, totally. I'm out. Oh, that's amazing. See, that you're really lucky that one day you'll get to say to your son, "Hey, you were 2 months old and you came and saw me wrestle." That's amazing. You're very lucky in that sense. So, what would you say is the best part of being a pro wrestler?
The travel and meeting a lot.
Really,
Yes.
you don't mind the long car rides or anything like that?
No, you get in there with some good friends, and it's just like a road trip. It's just getting to sit there and talk with your friends for hours until you get there,
Uh
and then
huh.
you get to see everyone that like you either haven't seen in a long time or you just saw last weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, is your girlfriend still in the room?
Yes.
All right, let me see if I can how I should phrase this. Do you ever, and you don't have to answer this, you can email me off air. Um, is there ever a situation like, all right, I'm getting picked up. Thank God, I want to get out of here so bad, away from her, from the baby.
No.
Never. All right, you
No.
email me after the you email me after the show. I don't want the you know who. All right. Dante, we have learned a ton. Can I ask you though some non-wrestling related questions?
Yeah, go
Like
ahead.
yes or 5 yes or no questions. You don't have to elaborate if you don't feel like it. All right, first one is, have you ever had a dream that took place on the moon?
No, not yet.
Okay. Can you cry on command?
I used to be able to.
Oh, wow.
Not really anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
For $540,000, would you only drink pool water for a month? Like brushing your teeth, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, I respect that. Do you subscribe to Oprah Winfrey's magazine? Oh,
No.
no. Okay.
That's such a
And
random question.
and finally, are you a part of any LARPing clubs?
No. I wish I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
I
thought
would love to LARP.
really, yeah. I mean, it's something that everyone's got to try once in their life. All right, you passed 5 for 5.
Yes.
Flying colors. Yeah. You should be treated really well by her later. Anyways, and I don't mean it like that. Maybe a nice meal or something. Thank you so much. When are you going to be wrestling again?
So since the kid, I've had things a little light.
Yeah, of course.
Also, I have a family vacation going up.
Oh,
too.
nice. Where are you guys going? I won't show up, I promise.
Oh,
Or don't
Florida.
say where you're going. Is it warm?
I'll say
warm
Florida.
weather?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I have some weirdos who watch this thing. I don't want anyone showing up on your vacation.
So my next show is as of right now because of the family vacation.
Sure.
The newborn. I have a show sometime. If it's still up there, we kind of with March Madness and the venue, we're looking for a different venue. But NYCW in March, if they get the venue straight. But March 12th, I'm at New Age Wrestling.
Okay.
And then April 9th, I am up in Gloucester, Mass for Nova.
How far is that from you?
Nova is about 5-6 hours, like 5-6 hours away.
So you'll go, but you'll drive with some, of your peers.
Yeah. Either that show I might have to drive by myself. Or I'm gonna see there are a couple people I train with right now, who are almost there. And I open the door to them like, hey, if you guys want to come, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, cool.
So if the kid and girlfriend doesn't come, they're more than welcome to come with me. But yeah, it's 5-6 hours. I could do that in my sleep.
Yeah, that's not terrible. All right. Well, thank you so much. You can thank your girlfriend and your son as well, because he was pretty well behaved during this, as far as crying and fussing and such. But you know what? At the same time, I know I made fun of it a lot. That is awesome that you have this little 2-year-old to mold, 2-month-old to mold in your. I had the same way. Like one of my sons is big into sports, so I have someone I molded him like that, and then one to play video games and watch Marvel movies with. So, but that's great, and I hope you really enjoy this time because it goes so quickly. And I may come off as this big, tough guy, intimidating guy, but no, I still have these. My kids are 8 and 12, and I'm starting to feel like, oh, I wish they were young. It flew by. They don't want to cuddle or snuggle with me anymore or anything. Nothing gross. Anyways, back to you. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you coming on, and I wish you guys nothing but the best down in 2022.
I really hope, because as soon as he hits about 3 months, I'm going to try to start getting out there more.
Awesome. I'll be looking for you then. All right, Dante, thank you so much for coming on, and take care, and hopefully I can get you on here again soon.
Anytime.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.